Do you want to do this old school with the music, actually, since we are doing this
Sure,
remote
why
again?
not? Why not? Let's get into it.
And we're back doing it remote today. Our second annual Zwischen den Jahren, between the years, coming up right before the second year of the 2020 decade. And it's been an interesting beginning year to start the decade, to say the least. I think that's a pretty safe thing to say. But yeah, so it'll be a fun episode today. So hello and welcome to the Untranslatable podcast. We are here doing our Zwischen den Jahren episode, bringing you a little recap of some of the good, some of the bad, and maybe even some of the ugly of 2020. But of course, we're going to try to talk about some of the great things that have happened this year. It hasn't all been doom and gloom and terrible. And we're going to take a look at what we might think that 2021 will bring for us and what we're hoping to get out of 2021. So without further ado, my good buddy and my partner in crime, what's going on, Jared?
Hey, dude. I love the Zwischen den Jahren. This is the best time, by the way, to be... I'm not going to say to be alive. That's a little dramatic. But it's just the best time because this is the ultimate relaxation time. I usually have the full 2 weeks off or like the full week off in between Christmas and New Year's. And that's my ultimate decompression time for sure. What better way to decompress than with the Untranslatable podcast? So that's how I decompress after a long, hard day or during the long, hard day. You can also follow us on Instagram,
Spread a little love.
Follow us on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. Follow us on Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number one, please, of course.
Пожалуйста.
And also, Pajolsta, on those 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. The Spotify
Absolutely.
deal is still pending. So until that happens, we'll still be taking 5-star reviews happily. Do people still use Stitcher? I don't know. I don't use Stitcher. But someone does. So give us 5-star reviews on there. Merry Christmas, Chad. Happy Kwanzaa. Did you get anything good? That's what really matters.
This year I would say I have gotten some of the most practical gifts. So they sound very boring on the surface, but I will tell you they definitely made me happy. You're getting old, Jared, when you get excited after getting a pair of socks.
I got socks and I got excited. Yep. I was like, "Oh, I need new ankle socks."
Yep. I got some warm ones for the winter because a few of my old pairs got holes in them. I wore them a lot in China last winter, and they got a lot of wear and tear. And so some socks, a couple pairs of jeans, those good old Levi's, can't go wrong. And what else? Just a couple other little things, but it was good. I got my dad quite the smorgasbord of hot sauces. There are 30 different sample size hot sauces. My dad enjoys hot sauce. I do as well. So
So is
gonna
the
definitely
idea
try some of those
with the
with him.
sample size like that he'll find some he likes and then buy bigger bottles of those.
That's what I'm hoping. We'll have to
Okay.
see though if it's
Because
on-
sometimes
yeah.
I like the idea of like the sampler pack personally, but then I'm like, I only really like 3 of these.
right.
And it's like now there's all these other ones that are going to sit on my pantry for a long time. I'm not shitting on your gift.
It's a risk you
Just
have to take with the with the sample packets. You're good.
Well, it's actually funny that I say that myself because I sent my parents like a cheese plate sampler pack thing, and so I'm actually in the same boat. So so we'll see how they feel about that. Anyway,
How about you? Did you get anything super exciting?
I'll say this: everything I got was unexpected. Some of it, I got standard stuff too, like socks, which I need and I'm very thankful for. But I guess I didn't expect that, but I'm not surprised or anything by that, obviously. But what I did get was an air fryer from my parents.
Ooh, nice.
And I haven't used it yet because there's a whole, this was just yesterday. There's a whole process that you have to do initially, to clean it out.
To clean it? Okay,
And,
that makes
and
sense.
it's just like, it's just a headache. But I'll tell you this. I don't know. I've never used an air fryer, but I've heard a lot about them. Have you heard about them? I mean, they're all the rage
I have a
these
few
days.
colleagues who either asked for them this Christmas or got one, I think, last year. And they've said some great things about them.
Yeah, well, I've heard great things too. I'll say this: on the box, they have these French fries that have been air fried, and they look delicious. So as far as the box pictures go, you got me already.
All right. Well, hey,
So-
good marketing, I guess.
So I'm excited to see what sort of treats I can make in the air fryer. I also
Feel free to bring some of those leftovers over sometime.
I also I bought this, but this is like a home gift that I got. I got a Dyson vacuum cleaner. Sydney's been talking about like Dyson vacuum cleaners forever. I'm like, I'm gonna get one of those things.
Getting something
And,
fancy. All right.
So I used it for a bit yesterday, and I'm like, this carpet in ground is going to be so clean for the next month and a half. and then I'll be like, all right, I think the excitement has worn off, and back to vacuuming once every month and a half. So yeah, those are the two that I'm the most excited for.
Okay. Nice. Well, Jared, I have a little something interesting to talk about today. Since we are doing it Zwischen den Jahren, this will be a little teaser for our main topic later. I came across this article. Now, granted, this is from the Daily Star, which is like a UK. I don't know if I would say it's like as far as like an Inquirer goes, but
Like a
it's
New
got
York
some crazy
Post.
stories.
Maybe.
And so
I don't know
here's
this.
here's the headline for you, Jared, and I think this will be a solid way to start the show, to start the episode today. Roaring 2020s will be post-COVID vaccine, in quotes, sex fest, and in quotes, era of vice and indulgence. And you know what? I kind of agree to some extent, and I
You're saying
wonder.
that's what you plan on it being for you personally.
Not me personally. I think that's just
I
what's
kind of
going
agree.
to happen.
That sounds about what I'm expecting.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like a good way to
Sign
spend a
me up.
decade, Jared. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But here's the thing. If you think about it, so we had the Roaring 20s 100 years ago in the 1920s. What happened before the Roaring 20s? Spanish flu pandemic.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Which led up to the Great Depression, by the way.
Right. And so can you imagine, that was us 100 years ago, more or less. I don't really think we have changed that much. We have evolved that much as people from would that be our great-grandparents, our great-great-grandparents?
I think that would be probably great.
Okay. So they had the Roaring 20s after the Spanish flu and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what if, it wouldn't surprise me, man, what if this might be one of the craziest decades that we've had in a long time?
I hear you, and I definitely get that, but I don't know. I feel like something about the the technological era that we're in, I feel like might get in the way of that a little bit. Now, actually, I don't know. I guess I get it though. I do get it though, because I'm itching to go somewhere, to travel, to do stuff, to go out.
Right.
So I guess actually, I think this time has really made us realize. Or reminded us that we need human interaction, at least the people that have been following
absolutely
proper protocols. So I guess maybe I do get it now.
Definitely. Let's take a look at this article a little bit more. I'll read through some of it and we can talk about it.
Okay.
So here's the subheading, Jared. Being stuck inside during the coronavirus pandemic has been tough for millions of people, and it could have a huge impact on how we behave afterwards, according to experts. And let me just say this, though, Jared, and this is not really so much related to the quote-unquote headline of Sex Fest and era of vice and indulgence of 2020, but I will say one habit that I hope we keep moving forward is the mask wearing if you're not feeling well. If you're going out and you need to go grocery shopping or do whatever, just wear a mask. I feel like there are a lot of Americans that some will do it. I know quite a few of my colleagues have already said that's what they're planning on doing. And then we'll have a lot of other ones.
I wish we could also get past the culture of, and this is maybe like a work hard culture thing of like working while you're sick.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're being some sort of hero. I hate that. I wish we could get over that. But the thing is, you talked about how we're going to follow, you follow history. History will repeat itself. Which makes me think that the mask thing probably won't stick because, I mean, you were, at least me personally, I didn't hear much about wearing masks when you're sick here until the pandemic happened, you know? So that's kind of essentially news to me, you know? And so but maybe that's, maybe it'll stick for a couple of years, but maybe 100 years is a stretch for that specifically to stick. I don't know. I think the mask will definitely be more normalized for sure.
Yeah, I hope so, because I think just wearing one if you're not feeling well, I think it can go a long way. Let's get back to this article, though, Jared, because there are definitely some funny and interesting quotes that I want to read from this. So here we go. So the rest of the so this is according to the article here, the rest of the 2020s will be filled with, and I love this term here, Jared, sexual licentiousness.
Licentiousness?
That's a new one. Yes, sexual licentiousness, which I think just means, just indulging, having lots of fun, maybe even in excess, I would imagine. Exactly. So here we go. So after people across the world emerge from the lockdowns enforced by the coronavirus pandemic, an expert has predicted this kind of, more craziness. So the expert is, the exciting prediction has been made by Yale professor Dr. Nicholas Christakis in his new book, Apollo's Arrow, the profound and enduring impact of coronavirus on the way we live. Social epidemiologist Dr. Christakis says society will make up for lost time as soon as it's safe to. During epidemics, you get increases in religiosity. People become more abstentious. They save money. They get risk averse. What?
I said, what's with all the big words? Abstentious.
I mean, this is coming from a Yale professor, so I'm not too surprised, I guess.
Do you know what abstentious is?
Yeah, it would be like to become more abstentious. I think just means you are, you're like more careful, you're more cautious.
Yeah, I did not know what it was, but I just looked it up. Yeah, and it says self-restraining, not indulging. So I'd say that's correct.
Yep. So I just think this is really fascinating. He said, now what's interesting though, Jared, so as you mentioned, we do have kind of a short attention span, and we do tend to make a lot of the same mistakes we made in the past. And so here, according to Dr. Christakis, he said in 2024, all of the pandemic trends will be reversed, meaning all it will take is 4 years, and we will go back to quote unquote normal, probably not wearing masks, all of that stuff. So we'll see how this ages, Jared, in 4 years.
You might be right. On the same page.
Yep.
People will not stay abstentious.
Right. That's right. So he says, and I quote, people will relentlessly seek out social interactions, which I agree with that. I agree 100%.
I want to go
Dr. Christak.
Dude, oh man, I want to go to a concert.
Are you going to go to a nightclub?
That was I had a I remember right when the pandemic started here in the US, at least I was in Chicago, and I was there because I was going to go to a concert which got canceled, which thankfully, but that was the last thing I was about to do, and I want to go to a concert too, but I feel like that's going to take some time for me to get comfortable with,
Yeah, I would say so too. So, and here's the last thing that I'll read, and then we can move on. But I thought this was a fascinating article, and I think Dr. Christakis could be onto something. So let me end with this. So he says, one of the arguments in the book is that what's happening to us may seem to so many people to be alien and unnatural. But plagues are actually not new to our species. They're just new to us as our generation of people.
We're the plague. We've been here
in
for
his
many
book,
years.
he argues that once pandemic ends, these trends tend to be a period where people seek out extensive social interaction, and which Dr. Christakis predicts will be a second roaring 20s, just as the case was after the 1918 flu pandemic. So there you go, Jared. If you could just give me a couple of ham horns for the potential new roaring 20s coming up, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, a lot of fireworks in 2021.
Exactly.
I have it. So I have something for you too. So
great.
Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but the word of the year by many. I'm not even going to ask you get into it because the word of the year by many places has been obviously pandemic.
Right.
But
that's kind of boring.
I know. It's like I know because I like. Is it just the most popular word of that year or something? Or I feel like it needs to be a word. I always thought it was more like a word that kind of like explained the year somehow, or like summed up the year. I mean, I guess pandemic
or
does,
the most
but,
frequent, maybe most frequently.
well, I guess
used
all of that
word.
would lead to pandemic. Then I would imagine.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Here's a word that I've been hearing a lot recently, and this is my word of 2020, and I still don't really know what this is. What the hell is a monolith? Do you know what a monolith is?
I've heard the word.
Have you heard about all these monoliths that have been all over the place?
Well, so mono is one. I don't know what a lith is. Let's try to figure this out here.
That's very good.
Oh yeah, the monoliths, the metal pillars.
Yeah, so apparently
a monolith is a geological feature consisting of a single massive stone or rock, such as some mountains or a single large piece of rock. Monoliths, yes, the 2020 monoliths. I
just don't understand what a monolith is, and like what the significance of it is, and what the big deal is, because it's just like a man-made box essentially in the middle of nowhere. Did you hear that there was the reason I brought this up today specifically is because first I've been hearing about this forever and I never brought it up because I never really knew what it was, but it's just getting ridiculous now. This is now turning into I don't know. This is ridiculous. There was one in San Francisco.
Even in Michigan.
There was one in Michigan?
Yeah, I think so.
There was one in San Francisco yesterday that was made out of gingerbread.
Nice.
There was a gingerbread house monolith in San Francisco. It's getting out of hand. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't even know what this is or what the significance is. What is it?
So was it 2017 or 2018, Jared, when we had the trend, and it was such a stupid trend of the scary clowns popping up? Remember that? You remember?
I remember. I mean, that's definitely a trend for sure. Yeah.
Like, I remember seeing videos on social media a lot, right? Well, now it seems like these monoliths have kind of become like the, big kind of social media thing.
But someone just puts them up. That's why I don't understand what the
Well, so here's
what's the big
the crazy
attraction?
thing. Right. So here's the crazy thing, Jared. I have a list. This is from Wikipedia, but I have a list, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but there is a ton tons and tons of countries where this monolith has been. And it has been on numerous continents. It's been in Africa, in Morocco, like 10 or 11 countries in Europe.
But the monolith that we see on Wikipedia is like an actual natural occurrence, like a geological occurrence.
Right. Like true monolith, yes. But these are all man-made.
We're seeing on social... Oh, these are all man-made ones that you're mentioning?
Yeah. Aren't they?
Okay. No, well, no. Wait, are the rock formations man-made?
No. The rocks aren't, but the metal ones.
Yes, sure. Yes. But I think the ones on Wikipedia, those are real monoliths. Can I say real monoliths in the sense that they're geological formations? Not the gingerbread, not the same category as a gingerbread monolith in San Francisco?
Right. So yeah, there's definitely a big difference there. The legit ones would be the actual, as you said, the actual geological, what naturally occurs. But these are man-made, like the ones from 2020, Jared. So right here, in late 2020, the appearance of a series of metal columns was reported internationally. Often referred to as monoliths, these sheet metal structures began to be constructed in the wake of the discovery of the so-called Utah monolith, a similar metal pillar that was placed in a remote canyon in Utah in the United States. So I'm not really sure
why does that go viral? Who cares? I don't understand.
Because I think it's just because it's random. Some people speculate that it's like it's an alien put it there.
Well, that's what they say. Well, that's what I thought. I thought a monolith was maybe in like a sci-fi or something, as like some sort of portal to a parallel universe or something like that, and that's what it's supposed to represent.
It could be.
And it's like, did the alien put this down, or is this just someone trying to go viral for the gram? I've been hearing so much about monoliths, and I've literally go ahead
Or maybe it's aliens trying to go viral on the gram.
I mean, aliens. If that's so, aliens are smart. They know how to get our attention.
Right. No kidding.
I've just
No
been
kidding.
hearing so much about monoliths in the past like 4 or 5 months, and I've never heard that. I've heard it used in the sense of like black people are not a monolith. We're not all one. But then that doesn't even make any sense.
One structure.
Yeah, I
think
guess
it would
so.
just mean one. I think it just means we're just all not the same.
Sure. It made sense to me in that form,
Yeah.
but I've never heard it in like the literal form of it being a physical structure until this year in 2020. That's my word.
And the
of
very tail
2020.
end too. I don't think it really started until December, right?
I feel like it was earlier than that, but it was definitely.
Are you sure?
Maybe not, but I feel.
I'm looking online.
I don't know.
I'm looking online right now. At least, and this is all on Wikipedia. It seems like they're
that's
all in
crazy.
December.
That's
They're
crazy.
Literally all of them. Hold up here. I'll do that fancy
That
little.
just shows you. That just shows you like how fast social media moves. Because I'm like, yeah, this has been like the past 4 months, right? Like, no, this started 6 days ago.
Oh, interesting. So listen to this. I didn't even realize this. Okay, so it is thought that the structure, by the structure we're talking about the monolith in Utah, it is thought that the structure was installed. So installed, meaning it wasn't aliens, unfortunately, Jared.
Aliens can install things too.
Well, that's true. Between July and October 2016, but it only attracted media attention after its existence was reported in November 2020 by state biologists who discovered it during a helicopter survey of wild bighorn sheep.
if you're trying to go viral, that's a long.
There it is.
It's a long
hey,
process.
some people are trying to play the long game here, Jared. Some people are, but listen to this. So soon after the Utah quote unquote discovery on November 18th, reports emerged on social media of similar metal columns being found in other places throughout the world, including locations across North America, South America, Central America, Europe, and Africa. So,
And now yesterday.
it is a very 2020 thing, though, for sure. It's super random, just having these like metal pillars pop up in random places.
Yeah, and I just don't understand why people find it interesting. For the life of me, I can't figure that out.
Because it's random. I think that's why. Just because it's completely random, right?
I guess so. I mean, this shows you this. I mean, just me not understanding it kind of shows you how out of touch I am with social media. I just don't understand how it works. I think that's on me, and
We're getting
I'll
old,
take
Jared.
care.
We're getting old. What can I say?
I guess so.
Well, buddy, I have a shout out for today. So if you wouldn't mind.
Spread a little love.
And actually, this shout out really, Jared, I've been listening to a lot of like radio stuff, old radio stuff on YouTube.
Like
And just all sorts of different like radio stuff like, what's
Radio
the name of the guys now?
shows.
Yeah. And also like.
Click and clack the car guys.
Actually, I've never heard of them. I'll have to check them out.
Okay.
But my point here, Jared, is with this shout out here, I want to broadcast it as in like I'm going to give this spread love to a lot of different people here, and that is because this shout out goes to not only a lot of Americans out there, but also a lot of Germans and other Europeans who have. Even though we're still in the middle of this pandemic, actually, Americans and Germans and a lot of people have been giving to charity like never before, Jared. So, for example, just in Metro Detroit, the visits for partner food pantries have been up about 50%. The need obviously has grown. And the monetary donations to the food bank are on pace to top last year's contributions, helping to fund a larger storage space and new mobile distribution sites required to distribute food safely during the crisis. And it's just really amazing how many people who have donated, as you mentioned on our last episode or 2 episodes ago, as you mentioned about Mackenzie Scott donating, about $4 billion in charitable contributions, right? So there have been a lot of Americans, Jared, who have been very generous and gracious with their money, and Germans have also been donating a lot more this year, and so I think that's great. That's absolutely fantastic. I guess I have one last thing to say here, Jared.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I just want to say thank you to all of the people out there who have been generous, not only with their money, but also with their time, whether that be volunteering to help out 2020 has really been, not to be cliche or anything, but it has really been a trying and difficult year for a lot of people. And I want to give our heartfelt thanks here at the Untranslatable podcast to all of the people out there who have been donating and helping out our friends and neighbors in need throughout such a difficult time. So I think it's absolutely fantastic. So shout out to all of you, and hopefully some good will come your way because you deserve it.
You betcha. That was beautiful, Chad.
Thank you.
I don't even know where to go now from there.
You know what else is beautiful, Jared? Some untranslatables, okay. That's for sure.
So, I would like to. Well, this is the untranslatables, which is where we go over sayings, idioms, untranslatables that don't translate specifically to English, but they do have some meaning, and we try to figure it out. We try to decipher it. Chad, I have here the list of the top slang terms of 2020.
Ooh, perfect.
I feel like we should go through some of these, seeing as this is the Zwischen, Jahren, we're doing a sort of a recap of 2020. I want to see,
absolutely should.
And this is perfect because there's a good chance we're not going to know a lot of these.
I'm really excited.
So we'll still have to try to decipher these all the same. Can you think of any slang that comes off the top of your head from 2020?
For this year.
I could think of like period with the PERIODT. That, which I still don't really know how to use properly. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, I know. All right, I shouldn't even ask you that. We'll just get into what the list has to share with us. Oh, actually, funny. One of them is period. Extra.
Oh, okay. Extra is just like you're being over dramatic. You're being extra. You're just being more
over
than
the
you
top.
need to be. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep, that's an easy one. Is that a 2020 word? I guess so. Maybe it is.
Maybe. This year has been extra.
Period is definitely a 2020 word. And do you know what that means? Or at least guess. Guess
period?
What that means. Yeah. And
it's
people
will
say so it's followed by someone will say, and that's on, and someone else says period it. Or period. Yeah, you know.
Is that just I don't know. Is it like full stop? I don't know. Like word? I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Is a word used at the end of a sentence meant to add emphasis to a point that has been made. So essentially just like saying period does, you know? People say period to kind of be like point has been made. But this is the cool young version. Period.
We're getting old, Jared.
It's often regarded as a more extreme or intense version of period. It's according to who? It's often preceded by the word
the youths, Jared.
That's true.
According to who? The
and
youths.
That's whose opinion really matters, let's be honest.
Right.
And it's often preceded by the words, and that's on, to add further emphasis. So preceded means it comes before.
Yeah.
So it goes period, and that's on, is how you would say it. That's
or
what they
is
said.
It, and that's on, period.
Well, that's what I would think, but they said
know.
It's also often, it's preceded by the words, and that's on. There we go. So it is, and that's on, period. Would you try to use that one?
No.
No?
Definitely not.
You know, you would never try to, we could have a situation where maybe I'd be schooling someone on our hot podcast here, and I'd be like, listen here, everyone. We're the king of these streets. We're the king of the podcasted streets. Chad, and that's on.
Period.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
That's perfect. Snatched. Do you know snatched?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
I mean, it means taken.
Do you really? Well, can you try to guess? This is the untranslatable.
Does
segment.
Does it mean you're heavily under the influence of certain substances?
No.
You're snatched.
So,
I have no idea.
So it's like you and I are about to hit the club, and I come pick you up in my Miata, and you come out, and I'm like snatched. You are snatched. That outfit is snatched.
You're looking fly,
there
looking sharp, looking good.
Yeah,
look like $1 million, Jared.
There's a second form of it though. This is a very versatile word. It can also be. I can't believe. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to figure out this. Then I said, "Oh, here's an explanation of how the second." Oh, the second refers to the process of supporting an insult. someone who lost an argument. So it's like it's like
boom, roasted.
Exactly. You dumb,
Yeah,
and
okay.
and your mom ugly too, and your house is bad. Your house is ugly.
Snatched.
Exactly, snatched.
Snatched.
And then that's kind of like
Got
you know
him.
what it kind of is. Maybe it's
What?
like the 2016 version or maybe 2015 version would be drop the mic.
Mic drop.
Yeah. I think that
Okay.
that is maybe a word of the
Snatched.
past. No one says mic drop anymore, but I think snatched is a common day
Speak
mic
for
drop.
yourself. I use that on the
Yeah.
regular.
And it shows your age. Wig. Have you heard of wig? Is
That just your hair? Your hairstyle? I don't know.
but it's like an exclamation. Think about how wig is used as an untranslatable in the United States, and then it's a shortened version of that. Wig. It's a exclamation. Chad, as I've said. I realize I'm
Okay.
repeating myself, and it's like so maybe it's like you see the newest hottest guitar and you know one of your friends got it and posted on their social media, and you
On
would
the
comment
gram.
wig exclamation point.
Oh, I want it. I'm jealous. I'm envious.
Keep in mind, this is relating back to a untranslatable that is very common in the United States regarding wigs coming off one's head. Maybe
I got nothing. What is
you
it?
never heard of the untranslatable blew your wig off, blew one's wig.
No.
Okay, well that means to be very excited or shocked, Chad.
Oh. Well, you blew my wig off with that one there, Jared.
You know what? Listening to you try to or terribly decipher. You're better at deciphering untranslatables from random languages than you are deciphering the words of our
for sure.
our people here in the United States. And when I listen to you terribly translate these, it makes me go big yikes. Big yikes. Which is the next word of 2020. Big yikes.
Are 12-year-olds making these things up? What is this?
Oh, big yikes. Oh man,
mean,
Chad,
I just
listen
like
to
bad.
Chad.
It's like big yikes. It's like
it's
bad,
just,
bad
it's
news.
just more intense than yikes.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, big yikes. I like that one. I thought I was posting it to my Finsta, but it went to my actual account. Yikes.
Big yikes.
Big yikes. I don't know why it makes me want to do that.
I hope you start using that and continue doing the hand thing for
Big
sure.
yikes.
Big 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 yikes.
You know, this one I actually learned last year thanks to my partner. So in my mind, this is actually a word of 2019, or maybe 2 years ago. It might have been a couple years ago I heard this. Whenever I was, probably 2 years ago. Anyway, fit. And now once again, keep in mind, this is a shorthand of a word. So fit. So think of a common, normal, everyday word.
Mm-hmm. Oh, outfit. Duh, fit.
There
Fit.
you go. There you go.
Yeah, I knew that one.
Yeah,
See,
I like
these
your
are
fit.
tricky though, Jared, because when you just say the word by itself,
Exactly.
it's a little
See,
decontextualized, so it's tricky.
It's tough too because fit. I don't want to just if I just say explain it, then I'll just give it to you. Like, oh, I like your
Right.
fit. Then that's kind of obvious.
right. Your outfit.
But my partner said that to me once, and I was like, fit. I don't even. What does that mean? This was
yeah,
maybe,
of course I feel fit.
This was maybe
Feel great.
early 2019 or something like that. I was clueless. I was clueless too.
Big yikes, Jared. Big yikes. big yikes. I didn't do the hand thing. Big yikes. I don't know why I'm
Oh
turning
my
into an
gosh.
Italian here, but
Do you like my Christmas
Anyways.
fit?
that's pretty. Yeah, that's a nice fit right there.
Oh, this is I wouldn't say this is 2020, but this unhip source does say bet.
Oh yeah, that's like prove it. Right?
Yeah,
Like
or it's
calling
like
somebody's bluff.
Or it's like I don't think it has to be that aggressive though.
no.
I mean, I think it could be calling someone's bluff like bet, but I could think it'd also be
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, like I'll meet you at 10 at the bar. Bet.
but
Yeah.
that just means I don't think you'll meet me there at that time, right?
No, I don't
Or-
think it means that. I don't. I
No,
don't
it
think
just
that
means
at
I'll
all.
see you then.
In here they say you can use it in lieu of okay or yes. So
Oh,
I just
okay.
think it means like bet. I'll see you there.
Can I ask you, and this is probably a very stupid question, but when did finna become like a very popularly used word?
I think it's been popular forever, but I think maybe why it's new to you is because it's probably more of a Southern thing.
Okay.
I feel like it's more of a variation of like fixin' too, you know?
Okay.
Which is a very Southern thing to say.
That's true.
And so I think
I can Google it. Let's see.
But finna is not new to me. That's been around forever to me. Maybe though.
Yep, fixin' too. Very good. In the late 1980s. Dang, I was nowhere close. And then of course the second thing on Google search, Jared, I bet you can guess it, is finna a.
I have no idea what that means.
Is finna a black word?
Oh. Oh, I see. I got what you're. Yeah. I mean, is it a black word?
Too.
That's a weird question. Yeah, which makes me think it's a Southern thing because that's fixing to is a Southern thing. So that's probably why it's newer.
Next question: is finna proper English? Depends how you define proper English.
Yeah, I mean that's dumb. That's a dumb question. These are. I mean, of course, it's dumb questions. These are the most commonly searched questions on Google. Fire.
Ironically, Jared, a couple questions down was why do people say bet? People say bet means you are confirming that said plan. Interesting.
My knowledge of the children's vernacular is fire.
Oh, that just means it's good. That's an old one though, isn't it?
Yeah, but they say it's a 2021. Now this one is new.
Okay.
This one is new to me. Speaking of a 2021, cap or no cap? To cap.
I know that one. Cap,
oh, you
no
do?
Cap means no lie. No lie.
That's very good.
No cap.
Very good. You betcha.
There's a couple guys I like on YouTube that no cap. You know, that's what they say. No cap.
See, and so I've seen someone say like that's a cap. Like you can say that, right? Like that's a cap, which means that's a lie.
I think so. Yeah, like that's a lie.
See, okay, that one's new to me. I saw someone. I knew it had something to do with lying, only because I saw someone post something, and then someone was responding to it saying that's a cap. And I'm like, does that mean you agree with it or that it's a lie?
It means it's a lie.
But now I know.
Yep, it's a lie.
So no cap is like I'm for real, no essentially.
Lie. Yeah. No cap on the Untranslatable podcast, Jared. That's for sure.
All right. Shade, that's not a 2020 word.
No, that's an older one, I would say.
Flex, that's not a 2020 word. Go off, I would say go off is, excuse me, is a 2020 word.
See, I'm old school. I still love the term go ham. That's like one of my favorite
that's
terms.
That's like a 2008 term.
Right. Wouldn't go ham be like that equivalent of go off? Right? Because go off is like go crazy, or does go off mean more like you do you?
No, I feel like go ham is more like we're gonna party or like we're gonna go crazy somehow.
Yeah.
Go off is more like you're like supporting someone that's like maybe roasting someone hard, and you're like yes queen, go off queen, yes, like you're like goading someone on. You're goading someone on, you know. So I think it's a little different than going ham. So maybe the person that you're saying go off to is going ham, and you're saying go off, yes queen, go off queen, to the person that's going ham on someone else.
So to translate go off, it's like continue roasting the person you're roasting, right?
It's a support of someone's roasting or ranting.
Right.
Okay. Have you heard that one go off?
I mean, I've seen like videos where I've heard someone in the background say it I
feel like I've only heard it, or not only, but I feel like the reason I say it like yes queen, go off queen, like that is because I feel like that came out of the gay community, and also is because I feel like the most times I hear that being said is during like one of those like drag race shows when they're doing like the dancing that they do. I don't know what they call it. You don't know anything what I'm talking about right now.
No, definitely not.
Sometimes when I do this podcast, I feel like I'm talking to my grandparents. All right, don't worry about it,
buddy.
People know what I'm talking about. They do this dancing, and they as in like support, they say that.
Go off, right?
Here's another one. Luke, Lewk, Lewk, not X.
Lew. I don't know. What does that mean?
What does Luke sound like to you? What does they sound like a variation of?
Look.
There you go. A signature physical trait or a specifically carefully constructed outfit or appearance. So anyway, So what you're saying is like, ooh, Chad, that the way that you have that gray hoodie and that sort of darker gray sweater, that or t-shirt, that's a look. But you'd say look. You don't say Luke.
You talking about my fit, bro?
That's a look.
No cap. You talking about my fit?
Yeah, no cap. That's a look. LEWK.
Okay.
I love this. Lit. That's not 2020.
No, that one's been around for a while.
Low key, high key. That's not 2020.
No.
Salty is not 2020.
Also, definitely not.
Slay. I don't think Slay's 2020 either, to be honest with you.
I don't think so either.
Shook is kind of 2020.
Especially, I think it's very fitting for this year.
Do you know what shook means?
Yeah, it's like you're... Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Jared, but actually, I believe that
I am shook.
Well, and I think I may have heard Donnell Rawlings say this either on Joe Rogan or maybe he was even on the Theo Vaughn podcast. I don't remember. But Donnell Rawlings was he was saying that shook was like a term that a lot of black people used when they were put in a position where they felt uncomfortable or anxious.
Okay.
You know, like and his whole point on that podcast was saying that the way that white people express themselves about being shook and the way black people do it's just different. Like we, white people,
sure. That's classic Donnell.
right. A lot. Well, I mean, I just think about like a lot of my white friends. You know, they would say, you know, I have bad anxiety. I'm anxious. I was paranoid. Whereas, you know, I don't know if in the black community, if you know, it's culturally acceptable to be like, I was feeling anxious. I wonder if it's more understood to say shook. I don't know.
I understand. It's like it's a blanket term that almost kind of just sweeps under the rug the real problem. And it's just used, and I mean, it is used as a term for negative or emotional or shocked or scared or whatever. So yeah, right. I get that. Stan. Now, Stan is certainly not 2020.
That's an old one. Yeah, that comes from Eminem back in the day.
I would say the idea of stan culture is very big these days.
Stan culture isn't that just if you follow somebody, like, not blindly, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, blindly kind of. And you see it a lot on social media where it's like why are you sticking up for you know this person that you don't even know this person and you're and you're putting
and you're standing for them.
Yeah, like why you don't even know this person, why you trying to stand up for someone that's just some celebrity that you watch their YouTube video. So that's sort of the idea of stan culture. So obviously stan, it came around from the Eminem song, which is like the early 2000s, but I think it became big again like within the past 4 or 5 years. But I think just with the...
I wonder why that is.
I feel like part of it has to do with Beyonce. Because she has I feel like she has the Beehive.
Isn't that her followers? Yeah.
And I feel like... And also Taylor Swift kind of has a strong stan culture.
The T-Hive?
I think just as social media has exposed celebrities more, the idea of feeling like a celebrity and wanting to stick up for a celebrity and a celebrity representing you is a lot easier to do in a culture today where you just have more access to these people's personalities and private life. That's my guess.
That's fair. That's a solid guess, I would say.
So I don't know if it's a 2020 word, but I feel like we saw a lot of it in 2020. Like, for example, they use Lizzo as an example. She was she's a very popular stan person. People got on her the other day for promoting diet culture.
Can't do that. God forbid you ask people to maybe make some life changes and eat a little healthier.
Yeah, well, that's because people have decided that she's this and she represents this. So it's like, well, how dare you now, try to, fix that? And you're saying that there's something wrong with being overweight. It's like people just immediately take it very personally. And it's like, this person can do whatever they want, obviously.
Right.
Tea, not spilling the tea, obviously not a new
That's
term,
a good one.
but it is very popular. I
always think of that Kermit meme of him drinking the tea, I guess.
Yes.
Which isn't quite the same thing, but still.
That one is more like minding my own business kind of.
Watching and
I guess that is what it is though, because it's like sips tea. I think that's actually might be where it comes from, maybe.
Maybe makes sense.
Because it is that sort of like I'm staying out of it, but I'm still kind of nosy.
Right. I'm sipping my tea here. Yeah.
yeah. And it's just like it's this gossip essentially is like what's the tea is also a popular phrase where it's like what's the gossip. Thirsty is not 2020.
Definitely not.
Yeet.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeet. That's
yeet.
just when you, in theory, that's just when you throw something, right? If you yeet something,
well, see, that's the only way I know it is like I yeeted myself, or like I yeeted myself down the stairs earlier when I slipped on the snow.
Right.
We got some serious Christmas snow, dude. That was great.
We did. It was gorgeous.
We got a solid snow for like 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been nice. We still have plenty of snow on the ground here.
Same here. Okay, this one I've never heard of.
Say that one more time, Jared.
This is a microphone nightmare.
What is it?
This phrase is also very versatile, but it is mostly a filler expression of excitement. It sounds like something a cat would do.
Right? No kidding.
Used when people do not know what else to say. Or oh, is that what it is? Maybe that's what it is. Or how to transition into a new phrase. It's popular among VSCO girls, Visco girls.
I don't know what that even is.
I've heard that term, but I don't know what it is.
I couldn't tell you what that is. No idea.
Use it to express their excitement. Yeah, I don't really. Yes. Are you going to the party tonight? Yes. Oh my gosh. These are the words of 20. Here's a big 2020 word. Simp.
Oh, Jared. Oh, are we going to go down that rabbit hole today?
Listen, I'm just bringing up words of 2020. That's the rabbit hole of the episode.
Simp is a big one. And a simp, for those of you out there who have been living under a rock during 2020 and are first tuning into anything social media related, a simp is basically, usually, actually, I'm not even going to say usually, Jared. We're broadcasting here, and I would say almost always a simp is a gentleman, a guy who will simply do a lot for. Basically, it's where you you put someone on a pedestal, you shower them with gifts, attention, affection.
Is that where the term comes from? You'll simply do anything for this person?
I've heard a few different kind of like ideas of what the origin of the word is. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. A simple
person lacking common sense?
Yeah, maybe.
But this is Wikipedia. I really should be on Urban Dictionary.
I was going to say, check on Urban Dictionary for me.
Someone who does way too much for a person they like. Brian Shue the simp. I bought her a car and a whole ass house, and we're not even dating. Nathan the pimp.
Like a simp.
You a simp.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it's basically I mean in theory a girl could also be a simp. But I think generally speaking, at least in the U.S. culture, Jared, I would say the dudes tend to be the ones who are the simps.
Right, well, because it's the idea that it's like the man has to do everything to get the girl, and these guys are doing everything for girls that have no interest in them, thinking that if they do all these things, they'll get the girl just by doing things.
And I would say generally that is not true.
And it's also, when I first learned about this term was probably on social media. If you see like maybe some good looking girl post a picture of herself, and you see like some dude be like, "Oh my gosh, you're the prettiest girl in the world." And someone will just comment. Yeah, someone will do. That'll be the next comment under.
Should I just start using our Instagram and just commenting "simp"
That's
on
hilarious.
random? Oh man, no, we got better things to do with our time. But yeah, that isn't. I will say this though, Jared. I do think.
Go ahead.
I do think in 2020, simp is a word that's associated a lot with red pill and red pill culture.
Sure.
Or the crimson capsule, as some people also will call it on YouTube.
Toxic masculinity.
Would that be a word of 2020 or would that be 2019? I wonder.
I could probably be 2020.
Could it? Yeah. Oh man, that term is just so problematic. Toxic masculinity. Oh man. But yeah, anyways, I do think the red pill has become a lot more widespread in 2020, and we can see that with this word simp, right? I think a lot of people out there.
Is it when the terms become common that we know this culture is really penetrating society?
Right. I don't even remember. I should have asked. I saw my nephews the other day. I should have asked them if they knew what that was. I bet you my older nephew knows what that is.
In red pills, I would say what also goes into that, which is a very 2020 term to me, is incel.
No, I would say that goes back further.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess it started with, well, I don't know if it started, but with that guy that like shot up the college in California a couple of years ago. You remember that guy? And he had like this.
I mean, I don't remember that guy, but I remember hearing about the shooting. Sure.
He had like this note about like how, you know, all these girls want to date assholes, and but no one ever gives him a chance, and he's a good guy.
But see, oh man, we're getting into all sorts of crazy stuff today, Jared. I would say, I mean, for those types of guys, I mean, there's just I think they just have the wrong view of what dating and relationships are. They have a unrealistic, obviously very unrealistic expectations. I feel like that's on the whole opposite end of the spectrum of a simp. A simp would be the person that's just always doing those things, you know, like always just showering people with like gifts or affection.
I think a simp turns into an incel. Once a simp simps for too long and doesn't get what he wants or what he thinks he deserves,
well,
that's
he's
when
not
he
going to
turns
get
into an incel.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, he's not going to get what he wants and what he thinks he deserves.
And that's how you get an incel.
yeah, that's fair. But I think the term incel, well, maybe I wonder if incel maybe would have been a 2019, 2018 term that has now led to simp. I wonder if it's, you know what I mean?
Incel is also the most like aggressive version. Like incel is like this kind of the school shooter version, you know?
Right.
Like it's like so yeah. But for me, incel is a 2020 term. I'm not saying it is a 2020 term,
right?
But for me personally, I never heard of that before 2020. I feel like.
Let's do this, Jared. What are our 2020 words of the year? Like if you were to like think of 5 words
I already
for
said
2020,
and that's just
a monolith.
Yeah, obviously pandemic.
Sure.
Presidential election, Trump, Biden. Is that all one?
Okay. I mean, you could group it as one group if you want.
I would say. I'm trying to think of like big moments from 2020. Can you think of any other ones?
Oh yeah,
Please,
I have a ton of words.
Go ahead. Don't let me just sit here in silence.
Sometimes silence is good, Jared.
I don't
maybe
think
not
so.
on a podcast though. But anyways, my first word I would say would be cancel. One with cancel culture, and two.
But cancel culture is not a unique idea to 2020 at all. Like there was a lot of talk of cancel culture years before this.
I mean, it's not, but I feel like it has become an even bigger thing. Number one, and number two, just so many things have been canceled as well. So that one has kind of a double meaning.
That's true, dude. There was that time where, remember when there was the sweep of all like previous black faces, and they even sweeped an episode of like I remember specifically it was an episode of what's that show, Golden Girls.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't blackface. They had on like the face masks, the black face masks. But they sweep. They're like, no, too close to blackface. Get rid of it.
Right.
And it's like, so you know what? I'm actually gonna agree. That's a good one. That's true. There was like that sweep of just like every sort of thing that could even be considered slightly terrible.
Right. So cancel, I would say, is probably one of the first words.
I would have another one, Tiger King, but not just Tiger King.
Oh yeah.
But just like the
was kind of the beginning
Netflix
of it.
reality TV in general has really been hitting its stride. Like I'm not a reality TV show person, but they're like Netflix is just like they're never ending with them. There's like the 90 Day Fiance. There's the
Was that on Netflix?
I think so.
Okay.
I believe it was. I believe it was.
There have been all sorts of really good series though too.
No,
on
it
Netflix.
wasn't. I take it back. But anyway, this has just been the era of like the reality TV show. I feel like it's I feel like it's really just what's how should I explain this? Like, it's really just like. I don't know how it's becoming bigger and bigger, because it's not like reality shows are new, but it's just like they just seem to strive. It's just there's another Love After Lockup. That's one that I can think of. There's also Deaf U, which is about dating for people at a deaf university. There's Life on the Spectrum, which is dating for people that are on the spectrum. Excuse me. So there's all these shows, and this is from someone that doesn't even watch these things, and these are just ones that I can name off the top of my head.
Tiger King was kind of a special time in 2020 as well when it came out.
Everyone
perfect
was
talking
timing
about it
too, because it was early on in the pandemic, so people were kind of respecting it, kind of respecting staying home for a bit. So it was early on.
Also, another big one, The Last Dance. That was a fantastic series on Michael Jordan and the Bulls in the 90s. Yeah. Which is, so that was a big one. Let's see here. So other words I'm trying to think. Canceled. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Chadwick.
Rest in peace. Yep.
Just to name two off the top of my head, there are more.
Yeah, that's what I forgot was I thought about maybe doing a list of a few of the famous people we've lost this year.
Yeah, but
Eddie
I didn't
Van
want to do
Halen,
like
another big one.
I don't want to do like some sort of Oscar thing where we just have all the names of people that died.
Right. Yeah, that's sad. But yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think of other 2020 words. I mean, canceled is a big one.
Well, let me just go
Obviously,
through.
Another huge one is vaccine. I think we have been talking about and waiting and the news and vaccine. I think that's another huge 2020 word.
Tom Cruise. Did you see that yell?
Oh yeah, because
he listened to it.
He was like very. What didn't they like break some
people
COVID
on
protocols
people
or
on
something?
set weren't following protocols, and Tom Cruise went on epic yelling. Like it sounded like Mission Impossible-esque yelling. I was like, wow. It really made me realize where it comes from when I see it in the movies. I was like, oh, this is the same thing. And so he was yelling, just saying like, you guys aren't following the rules, and if you see it again, you're going to be fired because we're trying to put food on the table for people, and you guys are just fucking off. Listen, his words. But yeah, and then there was sort of the people calling him an asshole, but then people also being like, I agree with him. He's making good points.
Right. Yeah. Well, we've gotten a lot of that this year. People. I feel like now more than ever, it seems like, and this is not any like factual information or anything, but it really seems like people tend to be kind of one way or another. You know what I mean? Like you're either like very like even with like masks, some people are super anti-mask, and then other people are very pro-mask. I feel like there's not a ton of people kind of in the middle.
Sure. I mean, there's no reason. How could you be in the middle? Either wear it or don't. Well, not don't. Just wear it. There's also protest, a big part of 2019. 2020. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor.
Yep.
And just the Black Lives Matter was very big in 2020. And I'd say that is a major aspect of it. Let's go through. By the way, I have a list of just a bunch of things that happened in 2020 that I think you and I probably forgot about. First of all,
let's go through it.
One of the when we don't have to talk about every single one, if we find them interesting or not. Megxit. Do you know what Megxit is?
Is that? I'm assuming that's Mexico exiting something.
No. It's Megxit, Meghan Markle, and Prince Harry exiting the royal family.
Right.
And just all the aggressive sort of backlash that Meghan Markle was getting from British people and the royalty and all that stuff. Right. And then a little less important, the actual Brexit happened as well, which is crazy. So
right.
I believe it's finalized. Brexit?
I think so. Yeah.
So they're no longer part of the EU. There you go. So England is separated from the EU, which is a pretty big deal. And it seems like, from what I can tell, a bad idea. Okay, right. No response. Parasite won an Oscar for Best Film. You probably didn't see Parasite. Did you see Parasite?
I did. I did not see Parasite, but we did talk about it.
Parasite was dope. I saw it. It was awesome.
Okay.
Did you know there were locust swarms in Africa?
Yeah, I did read about that. Yep.
It was the worst locust swarm in decades, destroying crops in East Africa. That's sad. Harvey Weinstein was sentenced to prison for sex crimes, and on top of that, Harvey Weinstein got COVID in prison.
Yep. Sadly, he did not didn't get him, did it?
No, I don't think it did, Chad. And Bill Cosby's in prison, but that wasn't. Was that maybe that was that must have been 2019 actually.
So I just checked for you, Jared, because I was curious about this Brexit. So new EU UK partnership. Where do we stand? So the negotiators from the European Union and the United Kingdom reached an agreement on a new partnership on the 24th of December 2020. This agreement sets out the rules, that will apply between the EU and the UK from the 1st of January 2021. The European Parliament and the member states still have to approve the agreement. This process will start very soon. A transition period is in place until the 31st of December 2020. Until then, the UK must comply with all EU rules and laws, and virtually nothing will change for the public or for business. So there you go.
Oh, okay. On this list, they have that Vanessa Hudgens couldn't understand why people were dying from COVID was so bad. Remember that? She's like, yeah, some people... Oh, this is a stupid video of ignorance where she was... I'm not going to play it. It's not worth it. But she was like, yeah, some people are dying, but, what's the big deal, and she was just really downplaying it. But this was March 17th. So this was actually... That must have been like the first week that everything shut down.
I think so, yeah.
Australia was on fire. So was California.
Yep.
For a good portion of the beginning of this year. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty terrible. Jeez, Australia was engulfed in unprecedented bushfires from September 2019 through March 2020. They caused untold damage and losses, though thankfully some rescue animals were released back into the wild. Then, over the summer, it was California's turn, with the largest wildfire season in the state's recorded history, according to official reports. On the bright side, Australia was also a model for combating coronavirus. That's true. So is New Zealand. They're living life normally over there.
Yeah.
They're like, COVID's gone.
I think Australia too, right?
I think so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find, there was this one meme, and I forget what movie it's from, where the meme is like, oh yeah, and then in this year we had the murder hornets, and then there was going to be a World War III. I'm trying to find this meme.
Yeah. That was another thing. I do not remember this, but apparently at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of World War III talk regarding the burning. Sorry, I don't know why I'm eating during this. I'm just so comfortable with you, Chad.
Here we go. How's 2020 so far? Here, I wonder if I can. Okay, here. So, 1 second here. My computer's being a little slow. All right, here we go. How's 2020 so far in a meme? So it's a picture with. I don't know that. Okay. Anyways, how's 2020 so far? Oh, we almost had World War III, and Trump. Oh, this is funny. This just goes to show, obviously, memes being, jokes, but it's like, and Trump was in a peach, meaning, they wanted impeach, right?
He was impeached.
Right. And I couldn't wipe my ass for a while because of the toilet
seat. Is that
seat.
Paul Rudd and John Leguizamo?
Yes. Yep, that's the meme.
Good. That was pretty good.
Yeah, and then he's like, I couldn't wipe my ass for a while because of the toilet paper shortage. Kim Jong-un died for a while, but then he came back. We had UFOs and murder bees visit us. Yep. I don't know if he had COVID, but he was out of the public spotlight for like a week and a half.
And there's all that talk about his sister was gonna take over and how we should be more afraid of her.
Yes. Right. American media for you. So it's from Ant-Man. I see. Okay.
Oh, that's from Ant-Man. That makes sense.
That meme has so many. Like, I saw one, Jared, that was like 50 panels long, and it was just all of the
naming
bad
everything
stuff
that happened.
Right. Exactly. Oh man.
All right, let's talk about some other stuff. Mm-hmm. Our impeached president was acquitted, as we talked about.
Yep. Not surprised. Unfortunately,
are you really not surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, look who is currently in office. I mean, when I say office, sorry, I mean like, look who is currently in our the House and the Senate.
Sure,
look at these people.
The people that are in charge of enforcing these rules,
right? And even the Democrats, in my opinion, are not very good either, Jared. So
you always have to throw that in.
Yep, because
and they're not that good either.
They're not.
We thought stockpiling on toilet paper would save us from a virus.
Yep,
which happened again recently.
What?
A lot of stores
the toilet paper
had
shortage.
There was a second shortage happening in stores because I went to Target a couple weeks ago, and the shelves were empty of toilet paper.
Right. Because when you get a respiratory illness, Jared, you're going to need to wipe your butt a lot.
It really does help to highlight how unprepared society in general is if real shit were to go down, where it's like zombie apocalypse-esque. It's like we would be. See, this is why I'm smarter than everyone, because I bought a bidet at the beginning of this pandemic.
So you were good to go. You haven't bought toilet paper in months, Jared.
I have, actually. You know what's funny? What's crazy? I mean, J-Lo and Shakira did a concert for Super Bowl 54
that's right.
this year.
That's right. And then we talked about when Shakira did the thing that became a meme instantly. The Shakira tongue thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
And she they did very evocative.
It was on Family
dancing.
Guy. It became a meme. I'm pretty sure.
It was on Family Guy.
Yeah, I thought Family Guy did like a thing where they had Shakira.
Yeah, Family Guys.
Right.
It's just crazy to think that there was a Super Bowl this year in February, and how close that is to when everything shut down, and how it feels like the NFL.
I mean,
almost was like hold out for the until the Super Bowl.
Right, for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, as much money as that thing brings in, I could see why there's probably a lot of business people in the States that would want that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year, Jared. There's been a lot of crazy things. Sadly, a lot of bad things as well.
I'm not done.
Okay, let's hear some more.
You seem like you were wrapping up or something.
No, not wrapping up. I do want to talk about some of the stuff that I think was maybe some good things for you and I this year. I'd like to hear that
for
eventually.
Us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has this year been all garbage for you? I feel like there's been some good things for you, right?
Jared Leto and Big Brother, do you remember? The contestants of Big Brother, they had no idea that about like the shutdown and the pandemic. And so Jared Leto,
they were in the middle of the desert, right?
On March 17th, yeah. Well, Big Brother's not in the middle of the desert. Jared Leto was. Jared Leto tweeted on March 17th, "Wow, 12 days ago I began a silent meditation in the desert. We were totally isolated. No phone, no communication, etc. We had no idea what was happening outside the facility." How hilarious. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Trump praised the coronavirus opinions of a doctor who believed there are demons in sperm. That's cool.
Oh, yep. That was a weird one. Yep.
People talked a lot about Kanye West. He really had a year this year.
Running for president.
He got endorsed by Chance the Rapper and Elon Musk. It was so funny how quickly Chance the Rapper got like dragged, which is another popular social media term in 2020. For supporting as
president,
Kanye, yeah. Do you remember? No, I don't need to get into that. Kanye also gifted Kim Kardashian a hologram of her deceased father, which is an odd one. Murder hornets. Of course.
when you have all the money in the world like some of these people do, I mean, what else do you give someone as a gift, Jared?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I feel like that's a bold gift. Also, I think this year it became popular for the K-pop bombing. So on white supremacist or Trump posts
Proud Boys,
that are going viral.
Was that one of the hashtags?
Proud Boys was a little different because Proud Boys was adopted by a bunch of gay men posting pictures of at pride parades and stuff like that, saying like I'm at a Proud Boy celebration.
I'm a Proud Boy too.
And
It's just
and they're wearing leather.
Right.
So that was great too. That was another co-opting of a hashtag. But what the K-pop stands would do, is they would like every time some sort of right wing or conservative or white supremacist related thing would go viral, they K-pop stands would just flood the comments with videos of clips of famous K-pop performers. Oh, here's another big one. Everything is cake.
Oh yeah,
that was a solid
crazy.
month or so.
Yep.
Of just
That's
constantly.
when you know people have too much time on their hands.
It really did get ridiculous, where you couldn't even trust a video.
Right.
Twitter got hacked. Do you remember that?
When did Twitter get hacked?
Twitter got hacked. It was December. These things happen so quickly. God. So there's the Voice of God is a big giant Twitter account. It got hacked by someone, and then the Elon Musk Twitter got hacked, and a bunch of verified Twitters got hacked, and it was with Bitcoin ads and a bunch of other random stuff. And for a bit for I would say maybe an hour or so on Twitter, verified accounts were blocked from being able to tweet, I guess, until they resolved the issue or something. So there was a solid hour or so where Twitter was essentially just unverified people.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that was
I feel like that changes the climate of Twitter quite a bit, doesn't it?
Well, it was so funny how people were like, oh, God, we're free of all these blue checks. And people were talking about how, this is the best hour of Twitter now that we're not getting flooded by garbage and stuff. Essentially saying, obviously, that, we're so much better than... Carol Baskin, by the way, did Dancing with the Stars. She really had a great year. Tiger King was about a guy that ended up in prison and also got COVID, by the way.
Joe Exotic. Did he really?
I believe he did. But Carol Baskin, she really thrived this year. A whole bunch of famous people. Oh, do you want to hear the list of famous people that got COVID that I just have in front of me?
Not really, because I'm sure there's lots of them.
All right. That's a good answer. All right. That's all I got. You clearly are not interested, and that's okay. I don't blame you. Oh, there was also the people taking over the Capitol in Michigan.
That was crazy.
And
that was ridiculous.
The separate kidnapping plot.
Big Gretch.
Yeah.
Got to keep Big Gretch safe, people. Yeah. Oh, man. It's been a ridiculous year, Jared, on so many levels. I mean, I can tell you, man, when I came back in February to start off 2020, I had no idea what the year would bring, what the year would, what would happen.
But did you know you were coming back to a pandemic?
Yes and no. I'm going to give you a good old Jein, as our German friends would say. I remember vividly talking to my friend Kelly, who was a fellow with me in China, and both of us saying, what if we get back to the States and then it just becomes out of control over there? And the difference is, with the Chinese government, when you have a single party government, you can do very swift measures to prevent, a lot of stuff, and they could just enact a lot harsher lockdowns and things that we really can't enforce here in the States. Americans were too... We like our freedom and our liberty too much, and we're not gonna listen to what Big Brother and what the government tells us.
We're gonna kidnap the governor for trying to tell us what to do.
Exactly. Oh man, crazy people. But this year, I don't know, Jared. I think in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we'll look back at this year, I think, as a year of challenge. Obviously, a year of immense difficulty and uncertainty for a lot of people, but I think we'll also look back at this year as a year of a lot of growth, a year of a lot of improvement, a year of us, in a way, kind of resetting and hopefully gaining a bigger, and I know this is very lofty and philosophical, but gaining really a better understanding of what's important. I just think about how much our daily lives have changed due to the pandemic and everything else, right? I mean, the fact that we're doing this podcast remotely when, I could be at your place or you could be at my place pretty quickly, and just using virtual spaces more often. I'm curious to see how that will change things in the future, hopefully for the better.
That's another big part of 2020, or big keyword of 2020, or phrase I should say, working from home.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, and people losing their job, but for me at least, working from home, that's a big 2020 moment for me, I would say.
Right. Well, here's the other thing too, and I'm not trying to make light of any of these people's situations who have lost their jobs, because there's a lot of people out there who are still struggling. But at the same time, as I said, I think this year has brought a lot of immense challenges, but it could also be a reset in that. So say you have a job that you've been working for, who knows, doesn't really matter how long, but say you have a job, you lose your job. Well, now is a time for you to hopefully find something new that you can do. Find something that maybe you would like better. I've heard that some people actually, there's been I forget the actual statistic, but it seems like the number of people enrolling in graduate schools now has gone up a little bit, which you would think it would be the opposite, because I definitely wouldn't want to try to attend school right now. But so I think it's interesting, Jared, that, right now, a lot of people have had to reassess their lives, reassess their careers, reassess a lot of things, and also reprioritize. And maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Sure. Yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah.
So what are some things for you that have been, what have been kind of some of the good and the bad as well of 2020 for you, Jared? Reflecting back on this year,
the good and the bad. I don't even know. I think the bad is probably, well, first of all, not getting to go to Italy and France. That was a bummer.
Sure.
It made me now realize that we should be working from home all the time. Like that should be like there's no.
So that's a good.
I would say so, or at least have that option. Agree. Sure. Mm-hmm. Like but it definitely. This is the first time for me that has definitely been proved as something that's like viable. Because even me, like I tend to be someone in the past when I had the opportunities to work from home, which would just be randomly, occasionally, I couldn't focus at all. But after working from home for 9 months and it being the only option, you kind of have to learn how to focus if you want to keep your job.
Sure. Yeah, I would say so.
So just now getting into that habit of being like, yeah, this should be a normal thing was definitely a big for me. And then just realizing that I don't know, I'm lazy. I've definitely learned that. That's been a big. There's nothing like it's good to know that I'm lazy. I still want to.
I feel like you don't. I feel like you're not as lazy as you think, Jared. Okay. I would say, but
and I
maybe
still
I'm
want
wrong. I don't live with you.
I still want a PS5.
Nice. Then you can get the racing.
Exactly.
That game, that would be cool. Yeah. Let me think now. For me, the good and the bad. Well, I mean, I will tell you, I was not planning on living in America for 2020, and that has turned out to be a fairly pleasant surprise for the most part. It's been great. I have seen, before the pandemic really hit, I got to see a few of my friends. I've been able to play tennis with one of my buddies here and there, which has been great. We wouldn't have been able to do that otherwise. Some other good things as well. I think it's been really challenging, but also really rewarding to improve my online teaching skills, kind of beef up my online teaching repertoire, as it were. So that, I think, has been a good aspect of this year. And then actually, Jared, to end the year, I will... pretty soon, I should be done with my teacher training certificate as well. So,
wow.
So that's another good thing. So I'll be more experienced in mentoring and training teachers and creating workshops and events. So that will be great. Obviously, I'm incredibly thankful for my new job. That I started in August, so halfway through, or more than halfway through 2020. But that has been such a great honor and privilege, and I'm so thankful for that. So that's been something really great. obviously something that was bad, I guess, or that came out of 2020 because of just the situation and everything. Ending my past relationship. I would say that was a bad thing. Now I think it's turned into a good thing because I have a lot more flexibility and freedom. And if I decide to stay in the States, I can and will. And if I decide to go elsewhere when things get safer, then I can also do that as well. But that was a tough adjustment, to be honest with you. When you're isolated at home and then you really love someone and care about someone, and then things change a lot, and that can be tough.
And losing any form of contact in a situation like this, where it's like, listen, I need all the contact I can get here. Or it's like you can't like sort of distract yourself. It's not you can't, but it's harder to distract yourself.
Right. And what am I going to do? I'm not going to go out and like try to meet people right now.
Right.
It's I'm trying to be smart and be safe for the time being.
That's very responsible.
Yep. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of just a couple other things to recap the year. I would say that 2020 has been one of those years, I think, where we are so excited for it to be over with. But I think a lot of people naively think that once the year's over, that things will be automatically better or different, and I don't think that is the case.
It's like I'm all the tweets and comments about I'm ready for 2020 to be over. Where it's like, well,
and same with the new year, new me. I think those are a little irritating.
Yeah,
as well. It's like, come on, you're like it'll be a new you for like 5 days. And
speaking of new year, new me, do you have any resolutions for 2020?
I do have a couple plans for 2020. You mean 2021? I'm assuming.
Yeah,
I do have some plans for 2021. So my first one, this is I try to break them down into a few different fields, Jared, if that makes sense. So like one of them is fitness. So we're testing out our maxes the next few days.
We do not promote diet culture here, by the way.
Right. We promote eat what you enjoy because life is short and you gotta enjoy it while you can. So the first thing is I want to measure out my maxes the next few days and then figure out what that max is in my different lifts, and then realistically try to go up about 12 pounds in a year. It doesn't sound like much, but what was the number? There's a certain number. I forget what the actual number is now, but there's a certain number where unless you're like on steroids, which I am not planning on doing during 2021.
That's a good resolution for 2021.
Right.
Take steroids.
To not use steroids, right? Yeah. But anyways, the whole point here is, Jared, I want to get stronger in 2021. So I want to increase my lifts. Ideally, I'd like to bench more than my body weight, squat and deadlift twice my body weight.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. So that's one of them. A music goal of mine is I just want to get a lot better at improvising on guitar over different styles of music. So that's like a kind of a music goal of mine. I want to continue to improve my reading of Cyrillic, which is, the alphabet they use in like Russian and a lot of Slavic languages. So I want to improve my Cyrillic reading skills. And the other thing I would like to do is I would like to have at least $6,000 invested in something by the end of 2021. I think that's very doable. And if everything goes as planned, hopefully have all my student debt paid off. Okay. So those are my 2021 goals, and I think they're fairly realistic. Some of them I need to think more about how to actually execute and achieve them, but we'll definitely get there. What are some of yours, Jared?
I don't really have any.
Okay, that's
I don't
fine.
know. I don't really have any like any big goals, really. I mean, I guess I have one, but I don't really want to say it. I don't want to say it. It's a little too much,
All right, I don't know. You have to tell me off air now because I'm
sure
dying of curiosity. But yeah,
I don't know. I've never been a big like resolution goal kind of person. Especially I just feel like I want to keep on keeping on. I don't know. I don't really have any, especially this year. Like I feel like I was robbed of so much time, where it's hard for me to be like, I don't know. This kind of feels like a lost year a little bit, where it's like, I don't know. My goal is that I can just like get back into society,
Get back in the swing of things.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm taking you to all the nightclubs, Jared. You're going to become the nightclub aficionado.
I'm going to get the new power strain of COVID.
Oh man. But yeah, it's it'll be an interesting year to come, that's for sure. But I think the people out there who are these new year, new me, or 2021 just going to be so much better. It's like hate to knock you down from your cloud world, people, but
it's interesting that bothers you as such a positive person. You like to stay positive.
It doesn't bother me.
Someone has a positive outlook on their future, and you're like, shut up.
I think that's good, but I think you just being, I don't know how many years have gone by where people say the exact same thing and get the exact same results. You know what I mean? I mean, just the amount of people every year, and I'm not trying to shame anybody or put anyone down, but I mean, I would love to see just the statistics of gym memberships, before COVID, when people were regularly going to the gym, how those go from January of every year, how much that goes up, and then by February or March, it just skyrockets back down, because people always have kind of that same mentality. Oh, new year, new me, and
the best part for the gym, by the way, is that I don't think it does skyrocket down. I think that's when gyms get most of their members that just pay and never show up.
Well, that's what I mean, though. Like the use of the gym goes down significantly.
Yeah,
but yeah,
for sure.
Who knows? It'll be interesting to see. But I will say it is important to stay positive. That is without a doubt, Jared. Let's talk about our song of the pod today. We haven't done one in a while, and I was thinking this year and the transition into next year, I think for some may cause a little bit of stress and anxiety, Jared. I think that's probably a safe thing to say. And I think this song is a good way to combat that a little bit. And just the title itself, I think, is some great advice, which is Breathe Deeper. And our song today is called Breathe Deeper by the group Tame Impala. We've covered them before, and they're just fantastic. What are your overall kind of thoughts? What's kind of the vibe of this jam for today, Jared?
I mean, it's a great Zwischen den Jahren song because it's very chill vibes, and it's a great song for relaxing, which is, as I said before, what I love so much about this week in between Christmas and New Year's, this free week that I have, and this is the kind of music. Especially now that Christmas is over, we're done with Christmas music. It's nice to have
for yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
It's nice to have just some chill vibes, and that's what I always think of when I listen to Tame Impala's chill vibes. But very like produced chill vibes.
I mean, yeah, it's very clean. Yeah. I mean, I like the beat and the bass line to it. It's got a nice groove to it. This is also, in terms of indie, I guess it's not really a long song, but I think in terms of just radio airplay, it's definitely a bit longer. It clocks in at like 6 minutes and 12 seconds.
That's kind of long for 2020.
Yeah.
So,
but it's got some really interesting like synths, I think, in there, if I'm listening correctly.
I would imagine so.
Some cool like keyboard stuff as well. And yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Breathe Deeper. I think this year, let alone, is definitely a year where we need to take a good deep breath going into 2021.
You betcha.
I'm curious to see how everything will play out next year. There definitely will be some good. I'm sure there will be some bad as well. But this song will definitely take you into the next year, and you can enjoy this in-between year time in a more relaxed fashion. That's for sure, Jared. Anything else to add about our song today, Jared?
No. You finished, right? That was it. I can't say something after that.
That's fair. Well, it is definitely a good one. Check it out, Tame Impala, and I'm going to drop it on our Song of the Pod playlist. So check it out. It is definitely a good one, and it will put you in some good laid-back vibes for the upcoming year. So, Jared, to recap on our episode today, 2020 has definitely been quite a crazy year. Some of the words we've talked about, pandemic, lockdown, we didn't mention, but I think that's another very common word for this year. Vaccine.
I think it's very fitting that it was 2020 It's a very easy year to remember. Very easy, it's just like a perfect number. And it's like, of course, it would be a year like this. I don't know. It just seemed almost too perfect.
Yeah.
Dare I say.
Right.
Some might say plandemic. No, I'm kidding.
Watch out. Do you think, Jared, that we might be looking at a revamp of a new Roaring Twenties?
Yeah, you convinced me. Yes.
Okay.
I think that people miss being outside. People miss going to activities, restaurants, even restaurants.
Yeah.
Just like simple
even the
stuff.
Grocery store, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Just going in the grocery store and looking around and
yeah. Last time I was at your place, I was
time.
talking to your mom, and I was like, going into a grocery store now is like a mission. I used to love like
get
just
in, get out,
wandering down the aisles. Now I have a list, and I'm like, get these things and go.
Yep,
There's
exactly.
no dilly dallying, and I'm like hyper aware of how close people are to me. And it's like, this isn't fun. This is just.
But I do think 2020 has given us a time to rethink some things, reevaluate some things. I really hope that we do continue embracing the working remotely and virtually. I think there are so many great things we've learned about working virtually that I hope we will continue to use in the future. I think we will. And for myself as a teacher, I think there's a lot of great pedagogical tools out there, and they continue to improve. So I'm really excited to see what that holds in terms of the future there. Yeah, and we'll see. I'm curious to see what the Roaring 20s will be like. Let me give a crazy, maybe this isn't a crazy prediction here, Jared, but I want to give a prediction, and in 5 years from now and 10 years from now, we can either look back at this and say, wow, Chad, you are an idiot, or holy crap, Chad, you were really right about this. I have a prediction. I bet you maybe the next 5 to 10 years, maybe that's too quick, but I have a feeling within the next 5 to 10 years, the way I think that society has been going, dating has been going, relationships have been going, especially with this year where I think people have had to change the entire way they date and the way they interact with other people on a romantic level. I think polygamy, polyamory, and polygyny are all going to become a lot more commonplace and a lot more accepted in society. Now, how that plays out, I'm not really sure yet, but I have a feeling, you watch, within the next 5 to 10 years, I have a feeling it's going to become more accepted for people to have multiple partners, and it either will become accepted to the point where people just won't talk about it because it's kind of an accepted thing and we don't need to talk about it, or it's normalized to the point where, like, I'm sure you saw the article. There was an article with this woman in Florida, Florida lady, I guess you could say, who had 4 boyfriends. I think they all live in that one place together. I don't know if it'll be common for if it'll be one woman and multiple dudes or multiple ladies and one dude. I don't know yet, but I do think that type of relationship will become more common and more accepted within this next decade.
Okay.
So that's my prediction.
You heard it here first.
That's my Chad Stradamus prediction for you for the next decade. I also will say, Jared, I think there will be a return in music to more instrument-based music or digitally, but with an emphasis on people also playing instruments, because this year alone, the amount of people who have taken up playing instruments as a hobby has increased a lot. And I'm willing to bet that in the next 5-10 years, we might have a couple emerging artists that kind of started to hone their craft during this year, during the pandemic. So I'm curious to see what some of these after effects of the pandemic will be. What will dating look like? What will concerts look like? What will all of the quote unquote normal things we had in 2019 that kind of ceased to exist in beginning 2020? How will that look in the next 5-10 years? So we'll see. So stay tuned. Stay tuned, that's for sure. So let us know what you think about 2020 and upcoming 2021 at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. You can slide into those DMs on Twitter, untranslatable1, the number 1. You can also check us out on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast, for pics, clips, all sorts of great stuff there. And please, 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher, and let us know how we can make this podcast better for you. So as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, Dziękujemy, muchas gracias, shusha, and do svidania. Crank that music, that's right. This is the time, Jared, where I wish I had like a video or a GIF behind me with the fireworks going off like crazy.
Oh, that would be cool.
Right?
Oh, they should do. Can they do like moving backgrounds?
Yeah. You've never seen that on Zoom? Yeah.
No, I haven't.
You can hear.
That would be cool.
I can show you right now. Just give me a second, Jared. I'll show you. Here, one moment. Here. All right.
Wow.
See, and it's moving. Now I'm out in Aurora Borealis, Jared. Because the Zoom Moose Studios wasn't good enough. Had to venture outside for a minute.
Let me try.
It's pretty cool.
Here it comes.
See, I just want to get a video of you like dancing to one of our songs of the pods, and then add that as your. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a little windy, Jared.
I know.
Can't
it
quite
was
hear
moving.
you. What are you saying?
What's
moving
fast.
Man, you did not pick the best day to head out to the beach there, Jared. Yeah, and the funny thing is you disappear with the virtual background too, so I can't even see you. So it's like you legit get blown away. Oh man, that's great. That is too good. So how's your cousin doing? Is he doing
good.
well?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? That's one thing I guess we forgot to mention on today's episode. Isn't it weird hanging out with people socially distant? Like, I'm still just not quite used to it.
It was weird.
Like
I
when
mean, we
my-
were masked up. We were sitting in like the living room, but we're all masked up, and I was like, "Oh, this is weird."
Yeah, it
and
feels
he's
strange,
like the only
doesn't
person
it?
I've seen this year. That's not you,
Right. Yep. I feel bad for you, Jared. I feel very bad for you. I mean, it's
Oh my
kind of the
gosh.
same, though. I've seen my buddy Shane, and then yesterday I saw my sister and my nephews.
Mhm.
But yeah, I didn't tell you.